All right, so how to build an agency that runs without you in 5 simple steps. So in this video, I'm going over the 3 hires every single agency owner needs to make if your goal is to remove yourself completely from it. Then when to hire, right? And specifically like, okay, if you're at the beginning stages, if you're at 0 to 5 to 10K, when to actually make these hires, same when you're later on, and the order in which to do them. Then how each role is actually going to free you from delivery, from growth, from operations, and the effects it's going to have. So like the benefits of getting these hires in, just so you can understand like what you're actually getting into. And then how to escape the trap of just doing everything yourself forever. Like the reason we built these agencies, I'd assume, besides like the cash flow and all of that, is the freedom, right? If you go from a 9 to 5 to working in an agency and working from like 9 to 9, it's not really solving the problem. So this is for agency owners who are like, you already have some clients, or you may be starting out right now and you just want to plan ahead, or you just have a lot of clients, you're making money already, but you actually want to go from, working all day, being like a freelancer, being like, honestly, like a little like worker for your clients, to actually owning a business that can, again, run without you. So if you don't know me, my name is Welby. I founded one of the fastest growing agency consultancies right now. In the short time we've been around, we've already worked with over 250 agencies directly. So this isn't just like people we've spoken to, like this is like actual paying clients. We coach some of the biggest programs in the space. I mean, people like Iman Gadji, Charlie Morgan, all that. And then we've also coached in these programs, over 3,000 agencies at this point. So step 1 to doing all of this, right? Because again, I really want to emphasize that this was probably because I get this question a lot on like the coaching calls with, like Iman's over here, my coaching calls, all of that. It's like, what's the biggest mistake? What would you have done differently if you started with the agency again now? And honestly, the answer is that I would have hired quicker. Genuinely, that is the thing that held me back the longest, because I kept trying to, grow the business by working more. And what happens is you run out of time in the day. It's like you only have a certain amount of time. So what happened was I would get stuck at these revenue points like 5 to 7K. Okay, I'd be trying to work more, but I just couldn't get the time. Then it's like 20 to 30-ish K. Again, boom, same thing, just getting stuck on time. So what happens is, again, you just end up working the whole time, right? And nothing comes out. So step 0 over here, right? What I put over here. And if you want to go deeper on this topic, there's a really good book by Dan Martell, right? He made a book on this called Buyback Your Time. So, really expands on this, but I'm going to talk about this mainly in the agency context, right? So before you decide to hire, you need to figure out what your time is actually worth. There's a systematic process for doing this. So your buyback rate is your annual income divided by, let's say you're working 2,000 hours a year, and then you can take a quarter of that. So let's say make 200,000 a year, right? And again, it depends where you're at. So just do this based on your current annual revenue. You want to take the 200,000 and you want to divide this by 2,000, right? That's it. And then you'll have a rate of around $100 per hour, right? And then the reason we do this, the dividing by a quarter, is that we want to make sure that if we do replace your time, it's going to be as big of an impact as possible, right? So this will just make sure of it. Honestly, if you just delegated everything below your current hourly rate, you'd still be getting the same outcome. But this is just if you really, really just want to make sure that the time you buy back is being used as well as possible. So again, you don't have to do it like this, but just do it for now for clarity. So what does this mean? Assuming now that you've done this, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like literally, like don't worry about like, oh, is my revenue 235,000? Was it 274,000? Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to do this. Let me click on another video. No, like just take like your average month. Let's say it's 7K. Times that by 12. Okay, that's your number. Cool. Divide that by 2,000, done. So just do that right now. Then what this means, the implications is that you should never be doing tasks which are worth less than $25 per hour or whatever your buyback rate is. So what that means is that you should be hiring someone to do these tasks so you can free up that time and use the extra time to grow the business, right? So once your time is worth more than what you're paying someone else, you need to hire them. Okay. So this is the order of hires that we'd recommend making. And again, it's not like I just sat down and came up with this thing, to be honest, right? I will be honest here. These things came from billionaires. So, and this applies not just to agencies, but honestly across the board. But again, I'm taking this and we're applying it to the agency context. And look, if you want help, like actually implementing this for your agency, there's a link in the description where you can book a call with someone from someone from myself, with myself or someone from the team, and we can just walk you through what it would look like. Or there's another video going over what we actually do in more details, just so you can see what we actually do. Again, that'll all be in the description. So the order of hires that we're going to make is we're starting with admin, then we're going to delivery, then we're going to marketing, then we're going to sales, then we're going to leadership. These are the 5 hires that you need to make, that if you can get out of these things, the business can run without you. Okay. So let's go over here. So starting with admin. Okay. Essentially what admin is the low leverage tasks. Think like, inboxes, forms, scheduling, just work that it's straightforward to do. You know how to do it. Like it's pretty basic, but you just need hands. Like that's the best way to describe it. You just need someone to do these things. So think of like onboarding new clients, setting up the ad accounts, lead sourcing, email inbox, like managing your personal inbox, the CRM, updating sheets, sending contracts, follow-ups, internal operations, like basic things, right? So an example of this is over here, my personal assistant playbook. So I've got a personal assistant, I've got an executive assistant, merging the roles right now, to be honest. We've got people on operations, like an operations assistant in the business. Essentially what this is, let me actually go back to the video. So essentially what this is people managing the most basic tasks in your life and also in the business. So what you want to do is, and this is the first hire that we recommend every single agency makes, is that you start by delegating tasks that are like sub $10 per hour, right? So you can get 10 hours per week back and shift your focus to purely just delivery and sales. Like imagine you're in a situation where all you need to focus on is just like getting bookings, closing deals, and delivering. There's no admin things you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about your LinkedIn inbox. Don't have to worry about your email inbox. Someone's taking care of that, right? And this is one of the things that we provide to the clients now, is that we can just give you these SOPs, give you these workflows. We help you get someone in. They just do the stuff for you. And this frees up a lot of your time and a lot of your mental capacity as well. I think that's the biggest one, to be honest. Then when to hire. So if 10 plus hours a week are going to admin tasks and it's less than your buyback rate, like you can get someone for, let's say $300, $500, $700 part-time or full-time to do this for you, do it, right? No brainer. And you want to use this time to focus on the next one. So hire number 2 is delivery. So this is getting someone who can own your delivery mechanism. This could be media buyers, it could be campaign managers, it could be client fulfillment. When we were running the Done For You lead generation agency, this was a campaign manager, right? If you're doing paid advertising for e-com brands, it's the media buyer, right? So an example of this, this is just taken from our Slack channel. You can see this is literally from yesterday, but this is our client success manager. He is going through the channels, he's speaking to the clients, he's working with them, and he's collecting wins, right? So you can see, okay, this one I put this from a coaching call, but it's pretty much saying like one of our clients, he joined within like 2-3 days, booking his first calls, just couldn't close the deal. So we're getting him on some sales training. One of our clients here signed his second client. He hasn't even been in the program for a month. Vimal signed another client. Josefa got his first booking from email outbound. So you can see like Kian will work, or any client success manager will work directly with the clients. Yes, I'll still be involved if necessary, but 98% is done by them because they have everything that I have. The only difference is that if they need like higher level strategy, potentially some sales support, then they can come to me. Like I'm happy to do it. But you can see here that it's like, this is all done without me, right? The communication, the replies, the win collection, all that's done without me. So what they handle is client campaign delivery, potentially weekly check-ins, Slack support, and then managing performance and then reporting. Like if you can make workflows for all of this, they can just do that all without you. And again, we'll just give you the workflow so you can just do that as quick as possible. So buyback principle here is that if you're still doing all the delivery, you can't grow. But fundamentally, you need to get out of delivery to like build an agency that runs without you. Like, that's pretty much it. So we need to build a system that gets clients results without you having to do it. And a lot of pushback I get from this is like, oh, okay, Ethan, I understand I need to do this, but I need to be in delivery. Like I need a quality assure or I need to manage them. You are. Because the one thing I want to emphasize is that leadership over here, which is the last thing, is the management, right? It's the last thing you'll give off. So the quality is still going to be high, right? You're probably going to set like the overall strategy for delivery as a whole, and they just manage the execution. And then once they get better, they can manage the actual thinking and strategy as well. But just understand that if you do still need to be involved in certain things, you can, But instead of it being 100% of you, it's like 95% them and just 5% you. For example, like when I started doing this, I was so worried that the quality was going to drop. So what I realized, it didn't, firstly. But my entire weekly workflow for delivery was like, okay, I have a Monday call and I have a Friday call. My campaign manager, he brings the results. He brings what he thinks we should be doing. He brings what's going wrong. I just sit on the meeting like this. He's talking the whole time. He's taking the agenda. He's following the process. And if he needs me for a decision, he'll just ask. But he'll come with suggestions. So my entire input in delivery is just thinking. I get on the meeting. I'm not taking notes. I'm not doing anything. It's like he's just asking me questions if necessary. I give him some feedback. I tell him what I would do. And then we just move on. Then I go to my next meeting. Like that's what it can look like. Instead of you coming up with an idea and doing the thing, you come up with an idea if necessary, and they do it all for you, right? So that's this one. Now, you might be asking, like, when do you get to this point? Again, when hiring someone here, media buyer, campaign manager, is less than your buyback rate. Remember, you can start part-time and then you can go to full-time after that. So don't feel like there's some big, like, oh, I need to pay $5K a month. No, you could literally do like $300 part-time. They may still have other clients, but that's fine. Then 500, then 700, then 1,000. Get them exclusive to your agency. So don't let that stop you from doing this. This is required to grow. Now, hire number 3 is marketing. This is essentially buying back lead generation. Now, the reason that I put setter or copywriter is it all depends where your leads and stuff is coming from. If it's the case that you don't have like a massive audience and your leads come from outbound, which again will obviously help you with, that's one of the biggest things that we help our clients with. If that's the case, then you just get a setter, get them on a commission basis, you pay them per booking. Again, this is something that we do. You can't do it without us. And then also, if you have a big brand and all your bookings come from your audience and like lead magnets and things like that, then you get a copywriter. So, I mean, you can see over here, this is from our setting chat. You can see here, like for one of the days, our setters, he filled up this is pretty good. He filled up one of the sales reps' entire calendars on a Tuesday for the whole entirety of the rest of the week. Okay. And then, Kian just talking about one of our guys at the gym replying to leads. But besides that, so you can see over here, I don't send outreach. I don't manage my platforms. I don't, reply to messages on LinkedIn, on Instagram, things like that. It's the team will manage that and the team will get the bookings in and they're fully responsible for it. I don't touch it at all. Right. So like I said, they handle the prospecting, the content and the posting. Now the buyback principle here is that you shouldn't depend, like, lead flow shouldn't be dependent on your motivation. I speak to a lot of people on like these sorts of coaching calls with Eman's program, with my program, all of that. And they're like, man, I'm just not so motivated to like do outreach today. I'm like, you shouldn't have to be. Like, it should just run without you. Right. And the thing is, like, I want to emphasize, because a lot of people will be like, oh, but can't you just use AI? Yes. Like you can. We use AI, we use automation. Our replies are automated, all of that, like most of the time. But you still need someone to own this. You still need someone to manage this. You still need someone thinking about this every single day. So all these people who are like, oh, but you can just automate it with AI. It's like, yes, but you still need someone to manage that, right? Because even if AI is doing the thing, AI still reports to you, right? Which means it still work for you, which means you can't run the agency without you. So you need AI to report to someone on your team. Okay. And again, like we install the AI systems, we install the replies, like we use these things, but we still have people managing it, right? Now, at this point, you've given off delivery, admin, setting. All you are doing right now is you're closing deals. You close the deal, you hand it off to your team, and they take care of it. This was honestly one of the best feelings that I've ever had when running the agency a while back, is that I did all these things, and I got to the point, I was taking a sales call, I closed the deal. Like I messaged the team, hey, this guy's closed, okay, cool. I realized that's it. Like, that's all I had to do. I just went to my next sales call. And while I was on my next sales call, like in between the time I was checking my phone, client got onboarded. Boom. Okay. Client success manager reached out. Okay. Scheduled the onboarding call. Okay. Campaign manager, he set up the onboarding form. He's building the first campaign. He's doing the lead sourcing. That's all done. Okay, cool. Communication's done. Questions being answered, done. I'm just checking my phone, like waiting for my next sales call. Like, like this is all happening without me. So this is the point where we want to get you, where it's like, you just close the deal. Boom. Team take care of it. Everything's perfect. Now, the last thing is closing the deals without you. So this is hire number 4. So if it's the case, again, the buyback rate, use that. But most importantly, you need to be booking consistent calls. You need to be booking at least like 5+ calls a day. So 25 calls a week, 100 calls a month to even be able to get a closer who's going to be operating on like a commission basis, right? So if you're not at that point, again, like we can just help you do that. If you want, just check the description. But to be able to get a closer and a sales rep, you need to be booking a lot of calls. You need to be closing already. So you can see over here, like one of our closes, he closed 3 in a day over here. This was like last week or something. So we have our closes aimed for around 5 to 7 calls, around 5-ish units per week, right? So that's 5 deals closed per week. Okay. So signing like 20 clients a month. That's per closer, right? So you can see that they handle running the sales calls, objections, follow-ups, obviously, and then closing deals for cash. That's pretty much it. So the buyback principle here is that you shouldn't have to show up to collect cash, right? Honestly, I know I mentioned this was the best feeling, where it was like I just closed the deal and I gave it off. But this was even above that, where it was like, so there was one day where I think I was out with my girlfriend and we were getting dinner or something. And yeah, we were obviously there. It was like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And I just checked my phone and I see a payment notification. I'm like, where did this come from? Is this like a recurring bill? It's like, no. Like, this is a new client. And then I realized, oh yeah, my guy he started having his first calls, my new sales rep. And I was like, man, I didn't do anything, right? And it just came in. The money just came in, you know? So it's like a setter got the booking. He closed the deal. Team's going to take care of delivery. I'm here with my girlfriend. I'm like at some restaurant. And it's like, this is the effect of all these hires, of all this work, of building all these systems, is that, man, these things, it just happens. It just happens without me, right? So this is the point where we want to get everyone here, to be honest. I mean, if this is where you want to go, if you want to take sales call, that's fine. Like, we can do the rest for you. But honestly, for all of the clients that I work with now, this is what we're aiming for, you know? So yeah. So the last one is, okay, now you're out of everything. Now you're just managing the team, right? This is the stage where I'm at now, where it's like, look, I don't do any of the execution. I don't have to. Now, if I want to, I can, but it's no point really. So at this point, what you're managing is obviously the team, the KPIs, the projects, all of that. You're making sure everything goes through, everything's happened. Like, there's a lot of coordinations, a lot of meetings, all of that. So I'll be honest, like, we haven't built out like an entire, for example, C-suite to remove ourselves completely. The point that we get to with our clients right now is, especially the clients we're currently working with, because some of them are already at like 200,000-300,000 a month. They already have that C-suite. They're like, okay. But for the ones who are building up to that, one of the main things we focus on here is graduating your ops manager or your executive assistant into like an integrator role. So instead of you being fully responsible for leadership, you have someone assisting you in that. So for example, right now I have my executive assistant training to, let's say I have a meeting with the team every single day. She's going to take the call notes from the AI note taker, see all the action items, put it in a Notion doc, and she's going to make sure to follow up with every single person to make sure these things get done. Before every meeting, she's going to prepare all like the agenda items, and then I'll just go through the call. I'll just know what to cover based on that, right? She'll also be in all the Slack channels. So if anyone needs a question from me, they're like, hey, Ethan, can you send me this? She'll just step in. She'll be like, yeah, Ethan's busy right now, but I'll send it over here. Boom, here it is done. So essentially it's like you're giving off sections of yourself to this other person, and eventually you can build them into more of an integrator role. Again, like, we haven't done this fully yet, so just take it with a grain of salt. But this is what we're aiming for, and what we speak to like people making 8-9 figures a year, and this is what they say. So fair enough. But you're giving off like parts of yourself to like the integrator side of things, and then also other things like setter manager, sales manager, who can manage these other teams, client success manager as well, right? So again, just to recap, the buyback rate, just calculate it now. Like, if you haven't done, like, just do this. Like, you can literally do it in your head, or just get out your phone and just do the calculations. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be ballpark figure. So this determines when tasks no longer require your time, and then the hiring ladder, which is just removing you from every part. So again, do these things, do it in this order. This is the best route to go. If you want help in actually us doing this for you, again, we're not going to like literally run the business for you, but we're going to provide the system that you need, install it in, provide you support, tell you like, because I think that's one of the biggest things. People just don't have the clarity on like, okay, this is exactly what you need to do. This is the constraint. Just work on this and you'll be in a better spot. So we're going to give you that clarity. We're going to give you that accountability in getting this done. So if you want to implement it, you can just book a call. There should be a link below. If you want more info about who we are, what we do, I also put our overview video in the description, which will just explain like who we are, where we came from, the actual approach we take, how long it takes to implement. Because a lot of people ask things like that. Other than that, I will talk to you soon.